Hey everyone, welcome to the Summer 2014 European Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. I'm David Freak-Turley, alongside me is Aiden Zyrene Noon, as always.
Yeah, it's going pretty well, man.
Yeah?
I'm a little sad, though. Woolite never sings for me.
I know. Well, hopefully we can have him, do some covers of songs later on. We'll get him on for more sounds of the game later on. But now the Challenger Series Summer 1 wrapped up in a huge way last weekend at Wembley Arena in London. H2K Gaming, took the title, beating Ninjas in Pajamas 2-0 in front of over 6,000 screaming fans. But today, we're starting fresh with a new crop of contenders for Summer Series 2.
Yeah, and this is the place where the best amateur players in Europe battle to earn the chance to dethrone a pro team in the EU LCS promotion tournament. Yesterday, the top 20 squads in Europe battled in a one-game elimination round, and here are the 10 victors.
Yeah, so Unicorns of Love and GG Call Nash actually have already won today and will play in the Summer 2 quarterfinals. We'll be with you for the final 3 matchups now, starting with Forever Zenzig against Tricked, then Invaders taking on SK Gaming Prime, and Playing Ducks up against Thunderbot Sparta. Now, just like yesterday's play-in, today's teams are once again in a best-of-1 elimination scenario. You lose today, and your visions of LCS glory get chunked.
Yeah, but if you win, it's off to the round of 8, where you might go up against the 3 teams who fought their way to the top of the ladder in Summer Series 1. H2K Gaming, Ninjas in Pajamas, and Gamers 2. All 3 of those teams have automatically re-qualified for the quarterfinal round, and you know they're watching today to see which teams they'll be facing.
Right, but if for some reason one of those teams can't watch today, well, there's a place they can go to find everything they missed.
At LOLesports.com, under the Leagues and Tournaments tab, are all the scores, stats, and links to VODs so they can scout their opponents and gain that crucial edge they'll need in the next round.
So it's even so helpful, it could be considered cheating in some leagues, but not this one. So go ahead and click away, see everything you want to see. Now, the teams for today's first win or stay home elimination match are just about ready to go. It's the #1 team in EU West, Forever Zenzig, going up against Tricked from Nordic East.
Yeah, and Forever Zenzig, their top laner Wonderwear. This team has Kobe, who was the AD carry for Denial last Challenger Series Summer 1, and they consider him a top 6 AD carry in all of Europe. He had a good showing when we saw him previously. Of course, Denial did not advance any further, but this is a very, very high skill tournament.
Yeah.
These are basically the people who are below top 8, because top 8 you're in LCS.
Yeah, generally speaking.
So if you're basically the 9th best player right now, you're like, oh, well, I'm on H2K.
And you're going to crush
trying to get up there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Trying to get yourself up in that top 8 spot and dethrone somebody.
And speaking of teams trying to dethrone, though, of course, Tricked is also here as well. They, similar to Kobe's old team, had a short run in Series 1. They lost in the round of 10 to SK Prime, but they're back here in the round of 10 once more, hoping to knock down somebody.
Yeah, didn't get any points last time. If they win this, they'll put themselves in the points, put themselves on the board, too. So SK Gaming Prime, we'll see them later on today. But a couple things here is that Forever Zenzig, they're #1 on EU West in the ladder, but they're also a team of very young talent. Senkux is 15, and so is Wonderwear.
Yeah.
So they are just blooming, because I remember Senkux being on Reason Gaming, which got 4th place in spring, and he was the big Talon player. Of course, he's kind of shelved it since then because of the exhaust buffs, and he's switched to a couple other assassins you might see him play today, but man, they are just very talented, very mechanically sound players all throughout. And I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table with this new team that's only about 2 months old.
It's true. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun, guys. Let's see what happens now. Champsuck has begun. Ziggs removed away from Tyrannus Aurelia, away from Wonderwear here. And they're going to take some time with the next few bans out as well. We talked about Kobe a second ago. He's top 40 in solo queue in the Challenger ladder. So just kind of more details about how good these guys are. But it's a bunch of high D1 Challenger types. Yasuo removed away from Senkux. You said new assassins coming out. It's got to be one of them. Braum as well away from Nico. And last 2 bans to come through.
Yeah, one of them is going to be Kale, or it's going to be first picked. Of course, it's always the MO right now in 4.10, even in 4.9. She was the go-to top and mid laner right now. Jax is going to be banned out here, too. So a lot of actually top lane bans. So welcome to Europe if you're watching from NA.
Yeah.
A lot of top lane bans come over here. You don't see a lot of Aurelia's banned in NA.
Yeah.
It's a high-priority champion.
It's a really different style. Europe is very top lane carry focused, and again, you talk about Aurelia's and Jax all the time. North America, they seem to want their top laners to be sort of these plug and play join team fight types. You see a lot more of the Renekton's and the Shyvanas there because they're going to team battle more often. Casson moved away, which does mean Kale is up, and so hey, grab that one as they wait for the lock in. Yeah, there you go. We'll see if it goes top or mid.
Yeah, and Senkux actually played Kale in the round of 20. He went 2-0-2 on that. They actually had a pretty quick game at 20 minutes and 25 seconds over to Cupcakes.
Yeah.
Only dying 1 time, and that person who died was Sweaty in bottom lane support. If anybody's going to die on your team, it has to be that guy.
That's just
probably the best.
And then you preserve everyone else's KDAs at least. So
Preserves his own 2.
Yeah,
as well.
Well, if he does one more time, though, then it's halved, and you just don't want that at all. Well, the kill did, of course, get picked through. Trick going to make their choices. Lee Sin still around as the most sought-after jungler. No one's surprised there. The Lulu, I would not be surprised to get locked in as well, and you typically see her as a top laner as well.
Yeah, you have to take Lee Sin this rotation because Ro10, he played that in the round of 20. He did a very good job on that as well. And these teams have actually done a lot of scouting on each other because Aurelia was what Wonderwear went to last game that he played, and Ziggs was what Tyradus played. So they've actually seen each other's histories. They've played against each other, I assume, on the ladder multiple times.
Sure.
So that they're able to...
Well, these guys know Trick's Nordic is.
Oh, yeah. You've seen them a couple times, though.
Oh, yeah,
throughout the tournament.
Sorry, yeah.
You've scouted them. You've seen what they bring to the table. So none of these people are really unfamiliar to one another.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Well, Morgana, Kayle, so Morgana, Kayle, the sisters come through. The Caitlyn as well grabbed up here with every other AD carry on the table. Caitlyn is one Kobe's going for. Top 2 most played in solo queue. Didn't play it. Actually, he did play it last round here. So again, liking that pick here.
Yeah, he went 2-0-6 on that. A lot of facilitation going on in the bottom lane, being involved in 8 of the 11 kills that game, and ending it very, very early. The thing with Caitlyn now, and why she's come back to popularity, is you get a lot of 2v2s in the bottom lane because Dragon's just worth so much you don't want to lane swap it.
Yeah.
So Caitlyn, biggest bully in a 2-on-2. And with Lucian's new item build, he's not as potent because you'd usually rush a Bloodthirster or Trinity.
Yeah, the Q poke's not quite as high. Orianna going to come through. Thresh to counteract the Morgana. Interesting choice there. Not what you'd normally grab for the situation, but Trick's going to take their time for their AD carry. This setup looks like a sort of Kog'Maw type team. A lot of support. Actually, enough damage that you'd be okay as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They are very utility-based. A lot of shields here. A lot of movement speed increases to keep him safe, as well as bonus HP. And some peel. Lee Sin can peel very well.
Yeah.
You have a lot of damage inside of the Orianna. We saw Froggen on it earlier today, just utterly destroying people with CS and just showing up. He had 100% kill participation in that game, too. So, Orianna, just all around a great pick, and despite the Athene's changes to the magic resistance, still a fantastic pick.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you're a little bit squishy here, but honestly, you're still going to be okay. And neither team looks like they're going to play major assassin in the mid lane anyway. Hovering over a couple of options for the jungle pickup. I do like Vi here because... Okay, never mind. I'm just going to keep waiting until he goes for it. But Twisted Fate mid I like a lot. TF against Orianna is pretty safe for him. I just can't get a break today.
There's no reads on this.
Never mind. They're just changing the last second. Orianna, of course, the enemy mid laner, Syndra, to face up against that one. We'll see who has better ball control in that lane, and the Elise coming through.
Yeah, Elise, Lee Sin, definitely the S tier right now for the jungle. Everything else is a little bit below that, just the control that they bring and also the early game ganks and power. You don't want to invade either one of them because they have enough tools to stick to you, do enough damage, and then your team can go ahead and back them up. So, very good team here, and they also have the Elise Morgana combination. They have the late game damage of Kayle, and it's not a problem if you run double AP in a Kayle composition.
Sure.
Because she's not really a true AP. You shred a lot of resistances, and you make it so that your opponents are like, even if we built MR, we're still taking a lot of damage.
Absolutely, and of course, you talk about the Athene's nerfs a little while ago, and double AP comps get to do a bit more damage against other AP champions, so we'll see how that pans out. Trick going to make their last couple of choices. I assumed it was going to be some kind of hyper carry in the back lines because you don't pick an AD carry last, that's a risky AD carry, and you want to see what your opponents are going to run against you. Jinx actually going to be the grab here for Salna. So, interesting one. Of course, top 2 for his most played as well. So, Cog was an option I would have thought of, but he's not a big Cog player.
Yeah.
So, Jinx fills that same role, similarly long range, similar damage output. And again, it's a team with enough defense, but also enough damage. They don't only rely on Jinx.
Yeah, and then also the Thresh into the Morgana here. Not a favorable matchup for Thresh. Morgana lands a binding on either of them. There's a lot of unreturned damage, unanswered damage that Caitlyn can throw out.
Absolutely.
So Kobe, he's regarded by his teammates as one of the top AD carries in all of Europe. He's 36 in Challenger right now. Can he just completely destroy this lane like he did in the round of 20? Or does Stalin have something to say about it on that Jinx and he can scale up?
It's going to be difficult to see. I mean, there's a couple of interesting things about this sort of lane matchup. One is if you land a couple of Caitlyn Qs, your life is kind of painful. And it's really up to how you can mind game each other, right? How many minions you can put between yourselves. If the Q, if it hits, it does less damage. But also, I mean, there's ways for Jinx to land poke as well. And also, Hook's cooldown's lower than Black Shield, so there are ways in. But looking at the sort of lane blindly, like this is definitely a better lane for Forever Zenzik.
Yeah, absolutely. And both these team compositions only have junglers that would get tanky. They're both very ability tanky based, where we have a Lulu, we have a Kayle, we have this utility that's going to buff up our carries in the late game. So you have to survive the laning phase, come out with a lead or at least even for these teams, and then you're in good shape because they are almost going to do very similar things to their AD carries, but it's the mid laner. You got a Syndra Assassin, you got a team fight Orianna. What are you going to be able to do with that in the late game here?
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be very squishy. And if you don't get a Kayle ultimate off, we saw Nick do it in the Gambit game, didn't get a Kayle ultimate off in that last fight. Maybe that was what turned it. Maybe that's what they needed. So if you don't get that ability off, then it's a huge problem. But at the same time, there's actually more hard CC on the side of 4Easy right now. Because they have the Binding, they have the Cocoon, they have the Syndra Ball Stun.
Yeah. They've got a lot of pick potential.
Yeah, there's a lot of picks here. A lot of pick potential here. Also, you combine all of this CC between Morgana, Elise, with a Syndra to set it up from a long range. You have basically, if you do it back-to-back, 13 plus seconds of stuff.
Oh, gosh.
It's ridiculous how much CC you can get out of this team comp if you get somebody solo. And I like this. Actually, right off the bat, Tyradus has a Scrying Orb.
Interesting. This will be all kinds of fun. He can check the brush whatever he wants. I mean, again, you've got a Thresh in your team. So, Scrying Orb and a hook. Cooks doesn't know where it's coming from necessarily. I really hope this happens. Salna's there as well. There's the orb.
There it is.
All right. How good's your hook?
Ooh.
All right. At least Sencook's new to run. He gets the ward down as well, so that was actually about as well played as possible for the mid laner. He puts a Q down. Oh, Mauer hits as well.
They answer Qs on each other right now, but there is going to be 4Easy. They're just going to go ahead and go to the other side. Start warding up that blue.
And you saw Wonderwear put his trinket ward down. You're seeing that right in your screen before he left the golem area. So look at that. And Tricked also going to try to find out the lane situation with that last trinket over the wall. Wonderwear going to run away. Q's going to land. Decent damage from Mauerth. Wonderwear should be able to recall in time to get full health for the lane. But I'm looking at the lane matchups right now.
They're going to try to stop him from backing.
Yep, Lee Sin makes him back away one more time. So it's going to be maybe some missed XP for the Kayle ultimately, but also notice that Trick did start a lane swap here. They've put their dual lane top and they're not recalling.
Yeah, they've actually lane swapped it. They don't want to go into the Morgana Caitlyn, but this sacrifices the dragon at about 3.5 minutes if they play it right. They actually went through this without vision, and there they go. Now Morwath is seen.
All right, well, it's going to be the standard setups anyway. Pretty much once you realize with the dual lane top, you kind of know that you're going to go off to your own sides of the jungle. So Raleigh going to get blue buff there on the Elise, head back to the southern jungle afterwards. Similar situation for Mauerth, the tricked jungler. So pretty safe starts. And actually, yeah, of course, with lane swaps, Wonderwear is going to go and start double jungling. So normal stuff we would have seen a month ago.
Yeah, and the big thing here, though, is what is Zenza going to do with this? Are they going to go do the dragon at 3.5 minutes? Are they going to juggle it and get themselves that extra gold? Because it's worth a lot more now.
That's true. And they've got really good dragon killing because, hey, it's Elise. And
yeah.
I mean, Kale's passable. She's not the greatest dragon killer, but Elise is so good it makes up for 2 champions.
At the same time, they're actually fast pushing this bottom lane. They pushed all the way up to the turret already for Kobe and Sweaty B.
Interesting. That's not what I would have expected with this kind of matchup, but both teams are doing that. Of course, Jinx, a great turret killer, though the flat DR does cut down her attack speed, the value of her attack speed quite a bit. You're only doing like 20 damage per shot anyway, but looks like 4EZ not even trying to defend that. I'm actually surprised because they could have come in like leached XP under that turret, but they're going to kill that white camp first, and then looks like they're going to defend the next wave.
Yeah, and actually the jungler for Tricked is nowhere in sight. They're actually going bottom now with the jungler and the top laner just to soak up the experience and possibly do more camps, whereas all this is just going to go to waste under this turret up top instead of just sitting around and taking damage.
I'm very surprised by the choices made by both teams. I do think that defending is the right choice here for Tricked because, yes, the turret's taking some damage, but it's clear they're not looking for the dive. At least to me, it's kind of what I can... I mean, to be fair, I have spectator view, right? I can tell what people are doing.
They haven't seen each other. They have no idea where the other ones are. That's why you saw the ward come out from Wonderwear. He's like, Lee Sin could be sitting in this bush right now. Because that's what you would expect. You'd expect a 4-on-0. But actually what's going to happen here is they're going to go straight for this dragon now, despite the fact that the enemy jungler is on this side of the map. Wow. There is potential for a smite steal.
Oh yeah, this is actually a really big risk now by Forever Zenzig. But you know what? They're ready to do it anyway. Q's not going to land. Mauerth doesn't have a way in on this fight anymore. You can see the health bar. It is very, very low.
It's a 5-on-2.
No smite for the Lee Sin. He can't actually try. He was trying to scare them away, but he realized that he couldn't do anything about it.
He had used it previously.
I think on the lane.
Yeah.
It could have been a white camp. I unfortunately don't remember, but there's a really good chance he smited away a cannon minion or something, and that got spotted.
So the turret for the dragon's actually going to make it equal in gold right now. But at the same time, Salna, he's actually up in CS because he didn't have to do a dragon. He didn't miss any CS in this lane.
And so he's going to be pretty happy Jinx overall. And of course, local turret gold is nice. 175 to him, more than you get from a Dragon at this point. Wonderwear and Ro10 going to get pushed away.
Got to walk around on that one. Good chomper there by Solno to make them get routed and miss a little bit more experience in gold.
You're seeing his bottom lane turret very nearly dead as well. So pretty soon, 4EZ, they're going to be able to actually equalize that turret pressure there, unless the defense of Lee Sin Lulu is enough. I don't think it necessarily is, but if the skill shots land, maybe they get their way in.
Yeah, if this turret goes down, the gold advantage completely goes to Zenzig in the early game. Also, the tier 2 was pushed up for Wonderwear, so he's going to start getting all of this CS just naturally sitting there as Kayle. And Kayle is a hyper carry in the late game, and basically makes your hyper carries even better.
Yes.
If you have one. We'll have to see what Kobe ends up doing. Caitlyn, not usually regarded as one, now actually has a stronger mid game because the items.
Yeah, it's a different mid game is the weird thing.
Yeah.
Because like BT, if you wanted to go less per second, meant you got really, really great spells and you could poke people out. But then the jump on in, Senkuk's going to be a little bit under pain right there. Half HP, great knockback though with a 2-man stun. And he's going to stay safe without losing any summoners. Damage onto Salna though, and this turret's very nearly gone. Hook's going to land on a Sweaty Bee. He's going to flay him back as well. Half HP on Morgana, nicely done.
And they swapped the lane back in time so they don't lose this turret. And now it's a 2-on-2, and if they can win this tug of war on Trick's favor, they don't lose their turret.
Well, the tug of war should go for Trick because they've got the item lead. Oh, actually, hold on. Ulti onto Senkuk, the Ignite on there as well. But here comes the Elise turning things around. Flash used unnecessarily by Cinder, but she stays safe. A couple of summoners traded on both sides, and the Repel escape. What I was thinking about the dual lane, though, is you've actually gotten the recall for Salna for a pickaxe plus boots. Which means he should be able to win this lane outright.
It also means that he's going to start going for that IE first.
Oh, yeah.
And see what he does with that, whereas Nico, hiding in the bush. Ooh. Good Black Shield reaction.
Slows come out as well. Kobe's got to be a bit careful, and you're seeing now, right?
They have to find a way back.
Jinx has, yeah, exactly. The thing is, they won't let you get an easy back now. You need the jungler to come down, like Ro10 needs to get Senkuk's to recall.
Yes.
Get bottom lane the wave after, and force the wave out so they don't lose 2 waves for a recall. Otherwise, Kobe's never going to catch up in this lane.
Exactly. Kobe is behind now because of the items, and he's getting bullied. And the fact that they are forcing 4EZ's jungler to stay mid because of their jungle pressure and the pressure on Senkuk's, they couldn't free anything up. So now, when Senkuk's gets back to lane, they're cutting off the route to bottom to allow them to back. Now we're going to have to see exactly what they do with this. Because
he's just going for blue.
Oh.
There's too many things on the map to do, and he's got to choose one.
And he chooses blue. He chooses to hand it off to Senkuk's right now. And they're actually going to do the same in kind. Okay. Oh, actually, the red's up. So now they're going to actually steal the red away for Tricked.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, they knew the rough timers in both those things. They had the ward down already, and they know that they're in control. Every single jungle entrance, aside from the bot tier 2 tower, is watched there, and they're going to be able to get the buff steal. Top lane should stay safe as well, so nicely done. Tricked get, on this second round, 3 of the buffs, or they're going to.
It's a good move in rotation by Tricked, and good map control. Moarth actually hasn't backed yet. He's still sitting on that machete right now. And finally, Kobe backs, and he has the BF sword, so he has a little bit of advantage now in this lane.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you stay lit, and you can buy BF sword. You've got the ability to turn that one back around. Ro10, he's gonna look around. I think he kind of assumes at this point his red buff's gone. He walked by a pink ward, and his team pings it. It's like, guys, get rid of this, please. But yeah, only level 5, but at least got some time till 6 and walk by the camp now. Realize that it is gone indeed. And he's like, ah, crud, okay.
Yeah, his level 6 power spike is not as important as Moarth, so as soon as Moarth hits 6 and he shows up, he can do a lot more than what he was doing previously. He did have some good flanks, but you can't really make anything of it without your Dragon's Rage, which you will get right now.
Okay, let's see how it pans out, because level 6 Lee Sin can be all kinds of scary. And of course, that pink ward control is still pretty decent. That one by the dragon stayed up for some time. He's got his sweeper, but it's on cooldown, so this ward will stop his gank pretty successfully unless Senkuk's misplays. They're going to try for it right here. He's going to try to run away. There's the jump on in. Shockwave hits. Good damage. There's Cocoon. Good damage. 2-man stun. Sorry, 1-man stun. The ulti. Mowerth 1 hit from dead, but he gets the shield, walks away. Ganks not succeeded on either side.
No ignite used from Senkuk's either. Didn't throw it in onto Moarth there. Could have been the difference between life and death.
Yeah.
But tried to bait it in. Good shockwave to pull him back. And blew everything there. All the ultimates that were involved in that fight were blown.
All right, well, very interesting battles. These guys are definitely at each other's throats back and forth. You're certainly seeing this game be very close. And I got to say, I mean, Trick...
No kills still.
Yeah, no kills, but I mean, a lot of attempts, right? And you know, Dragon and Turrets have been going down. Tricked, I got to say, are playing a lot better than we saw them last time around.
Yes.
A team that loses in the round of 10 typically is... You know, and they lost to a team that lost in the quarterfinals, right? So it's not like they, like, oh, well, you know, they lost to H2K, it's understandable. It's like these guys, to be fair, like, didn't have a very good run, but they're looking sound strategically. They're making good individual plays. Of course, 4EZ as well. I haven't seen these guys before. I mean, we've seen about half the roster before doing pretty well, and so far they're just kind of holding equal.
Yeah, and I think what right now, both teams are testing each other's map movements, because when you get into Challenger in the fives ladder, you try to make moves like this, and if somebody misplays, you lose about 1,000 gold. And you're just like, the other team is now up on us, and they can push that advantage. So both teams are trying to just wedge that out, and now... Second Dragon being started up now, and a catch onto Mowar.
Well, a bunch of damage. He's got a lantern, gets over to it. Ulti comes by, doesn't care too much.
It.
Oh no! Wow, the Caitlyn ulti. Kill comes through to Kobe. And there you go. From downtown, they're going to go back to Dragon.
Nobody blocked that because the teleport was coming in from Wonderware and everybody was panicking. The lantern to get him out, but the Dragon goes to 4EZ. They are now up 2,000 gold over Tricked.
What a great setup. They were there for the Dragon, they got the ward control back, and they picked people off as they came around. The binding set that off. You talked about the ginormous amounts of crowd control available, binding and everything else, and that's what happened. He just got locked down. The lantern wasn't enough for him, so good kill pickup. The Dragon capitalized. The mid lane push as well. Just, they're taking an arm. There we go.
Oh, they're going to go after Tyradus now.
And he's going to lose a whole bunch of health as well. That's the kill. Sweaty B up in the middle of everything. Going to get a two-man stun. Walk away from the turret. Bind onto Nico. That's not going to be good for him as well. Now 3 kills for the team. Could that be 4 soon? Not just quite, but 4 easy. Man, they made that great.
Wow. I actually love the fact the box went down and they all just skittered around the edges of it. They didn't break a single wall of it, which is something you typically don't see. People get very aggressive and just walk straight through it. And Lee Sin respawns, immediately dies after. This ultimate only hits Wonderware, and it just destroys the Black Shield with the dissonance. Tyradus, Sweaty B with the nice flash in onto everybody with the lockup there. He actually hit 4 people with that. One of them gets away, and the other 2 get locked down. They just clean up afterwards, and they blew this game wide open with a 3.8k gold lead now for Forever Zenzig.
Yep. They're playing incredibly well right now. I like the fact that they stayed on the turret. Once the turret died, they turned to fight. And the problem for Tricked was Mike ER wasn't there at the battle. Lulu joined late. She was walking by still when the turret fell down. And so it was a simple 4v5. Of course, well fought overall, but that's the kind of mistake you can't have.
Mikey didn't even teleport in the previous fight, and Wonderware did. And also a big thing, too, is that Mike ER was nowhere near Wonderware to interrupt his teleport, which was something I was looking for and expecting, but he started to come down and he was going around River and just kind of lollygagging around, and it cost his team.
Oh, big mistake right there, so it's going to make things much nicer for Forever Zenzig.
There are a lot of wards here in Zenzig's inventory, just all across the board. Pink wards, green wards, Vision and Sight. They are looking to take control of this game with that gold lead and just create more open space on the map for them to make these picks. Because that's how pick comp operates, is more pink wards in your inventories on the map and just completely wrestle control.
4 sweepers and multiple pink wards. I think it's going to make it, I see 1 on the map plus 3 in inventory, so 4 wards, a great amount there. Senko getting his blue buff level 9 on him. Does go with themes on both sides, no surprise in that one, of course. And I mean, they've just kind of spiked ahead right now. Like, 3,000 gold doesn't always mean a lot. It does matter when it makes a big difference on individual champions. Infinity Edge is now done on Kobe. It's a 13-minute Infinity Edge. That is fast. Like 15 minutes is like, okay, that's like expected. 13 is a great score.
Yeah, he's been CSing really well, and he showed up to all the fights. 100% kill participation between him and Sencooks and the bottom laner, Sweaty B. They're all just showing up really big in these fights. They're on time, they're coordinated in the team fights, and now they're coordinated when trying to get control of the jungle right now.
And there's the Golem going down. So, no other buff steals just yet for Forever Zenzig, but they're still making their way forward. Nice CC on a Tyradus. A little bit of damage, but not too much. He's going to stay safe for here. You have to realize... What's up?
Only Cocoon landed.
Yeah.
Dark Binding.
They threw them both out.
Yeah.
1 hit.
Zigzag him. 1 will hit.
Yes. Can't juke every way at the same time. So, not too much grab. There we go. A Wraith steal as well. Oh, Tyradus not in the right spot. Wow. So much comes through. Flashes out, gets a shield, stays alive just barely, but Forever Zenzig So looking happy. Cocoon's going to land on Elise Sin. More poke going through this turret, losing some health right here. And they are capitalizing on their item leads.
Oh, ooh, almost hit Solna with that one. Just getting the damage out. Exactly. They're pushing their item advantage now. Their wave clear with Syndra is pretty dang good at this point in the game. Wonder where he's just causing split push pressure. His teleport is almost up. Can he duel Mikey R right now? Mikey's going to place a ward over, make himself safe. But yeah, the item advantage, the Infinity Edge completed for Caitlyn over just some pieces of it. Not even the crit chance for Solna.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a ways to go. You've gotten yourself a part of 2 turret kills, 2 dragons, and you've got over 700 gold from kills and assists. Like, you're gonna have a gigantic lead in this one. That's what you see right there. Kobe to have Zerk Greaves soon as well. He's gonna keep scaling up. I don't see this Caitlyn falling off. She's a target worth protecting all game. Long Sweaty B does get hooked up, but of course they can't follow that one. Tricks are down in this game right now. Suncooks and the rest of the team doing nicely. 5,000 gold lead. Mikey R. Wonderware in another battle right there. A little bit of damage comes through. Whimsied out. And you can see, oh my gosh, he's going for the dive right there. And just, the ulties.
The ulti
trades him back and forth. He does not have the damage. Out he goes, actually. Wonderware. 200 HP.
And Moarth, he's actually going to try to wrap around, but there is a ward on this side of the map to protect Wonderware. Actually, he doesn't see it straight from, he doesn't go all the way back to his turret.
I don't think he'll catch him in time, though.
Oh, if he does that, gets an E.
Oh, gets the slow down. This is not good. Wonderware. The Q's up in 2 seconds. Jumps forward, kicks him into the wall. One auto attack, one more to go. Gets the kill. Mauarth takes him down. Nicely played.
Wow. So Mauarth going really hard on that one, realizing that was the bush he backed in.
Yep.
Immediately runs up to it. He's probably sitting there 8, 7, 6, counting it out, making sure that he can get that kill.
Oh, I did not expect that kill to come through. That was really nicely done. I didn't realize he had a sight stone, so that ward was great. Bought that actually before he finished the Lizard Elder, so he's really trying to just get the vision for his team to stop these random picks that have been working so well for Forever Zenzig.
10 seconds on the Dragon, but there are still a lot of pink wards in the inventory all across for Forever Zenzig, whereas there aren't any on the map for Tricked currently.
True. They've got regular wards, 2 sight stones, but that's it.
And they don't have any in their inventories either. They're just trying to deny the vision of the green wards, which are just all up in their jungle anyway. They have a lot focused on that top lane from the Sightstone from Morwath, but I don't know what they can do in this area of the Dragon. They have a disadvantage in gold, disadvantage in items. Most of the members of Forever Zenzig have already backed and got a little bit more of a power spike for themselves. We now have the Zeal completed, the attack speed behind the Infinity Edge coming in for Kobe. And meanwhile, Wonderware, he's just going to continue pushing top and get them a turret.
Nicely done right there. Turret does go down, and I mean, these guys have played better around the teleports. You notice that Mikey R is like chilling with the team.
I don't think he's used it once.
I haven't seen it either. At least, I mean, maybe to get back to lane, but that's it. Right? Nothing for a team fight, absolutely. So Wonderware's like, I have teleport. I can join my team whenever. I'll push top. Mikey R can't force the issue because his team is down in gold, and well, stand up for Dragon means a turret there. Finally, the Lulu goes to defend the top lane here, but again, Wonderware, now up a level, can probably push him around.
Yeah. Wonderware, as Kale, with these items, he's going for the Zerk speed, going for the attack speed build, and now we see Senkooks. He's actually prepping himself for a pick. Getting more out.
All right, well, the 4-on-4, he flashed in the damage, the ulti, yes, that is the kill. Didn't even need the Kate ulti, Ignite was enough. There's a kill picked up right there for Zenzig. Again, just finding their ways in. They're tenacious.
Yeah, just never letting up. And look, Wonderware rotates himself to this mid lane. It's already below half HP, and they're ready to take it down. And the lack of siege defense here from Tricked, they're just catching them out every time and having better rotations at better times for Forever Zenzig. And their dragon control has been on point. They've gotten every dragon in this game and converted it into the right items and the right control in terms of vision.
Yeah, I mean, they've just done a great job. They pick out these random kills, 4v5s, and it's like, great, 4v5s, do something. And Tricked, at least this time, have learned their lesson to not defend with the numbers disadvantage, but they've got to wait for the respawns every time. Now down 8,000 gold. This number is growing rapidly here, actually.
I think Sweaty B threw out a black shield on Senkooks just to get an assist on that last kill.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Hey, it's free money. You might as well.
Oh, yeah. Get himself a little bit of that.
Going to be okay for this one for Easy. They're going to back out after they've got their gold lead. Going to buy some items, make sure they're all safe in this recall. Their ward coverage is enough to prevent some kind of desperate Baron rush, so kind of everyone's playing properly there. Zeal, Zerker Greaves in the beginning of Last Whisper coming through for Kobe.
And we're looking at these item builds, we're looking at the map control that Forever Zenzig has wrestled for themselves, and it's about to hit the 20-minute mark. It's not even 20 minutes yet. They only gave up 1 kill in their previous game. Is it just going to be a repeat of that, and Trick can't get anything from them? Because they've gotten all these objectives. There are 3 members on the team of Trick who haven't even died once, but they also have no kills and no assists. They haven't really done a whole lot aside from farming and just showing up to the fight, but then backing out of the fight because they've already lost their jungler or they've already lost their mid laner.
And that's just a really rough situation for these guys. As Trick, unfortunately, are getting... I mean, they're falling prey to that pick comp. That's ultimately what it's about, and 4EZ have done a great job of mission control. The early scrying orb came through for Kobe as well, so no warding totems. They're going to have to buy every single ward they put down, except for those coming out of Sweaty B.
Yeah, it hasn't been that much of a problem for them.
Exactly. Of course.
They were ready to just sweep the vision out and rely on Sweaty B's positioning of his wards and holding on to the sight stone. But yeah, like you said, the pick composition is really what they went for at the start. They do have some teamfight prowess with Wonderwear. And the fact that we've seen their pick comp work multiple times, they are picking somebody off, then going for an objective. Picking somebody off, go Dragon. Pick somebody off, get turret. Do it every time. They have 4 kills, they have 4 turrets. They keep wrestling these objectives away from them. Get a pick on Lee Sin, go get Dragon 100%. You saw it right there, they killed Lee Sin, then they ran up middle. Once you put yourself in an advantageous position in a 4v5, the enemy team, Trick, they aren't going to continue to fight you.
No.
They could with their team composition, because they do have a little bit of wombo between the Orianna and Jinx Rocket, but they just haven't hit those power spikes.
Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing is you're waiting a really long time to catch up there on Trick, but when you're down super large amounts by 15 minutes, there's no way to catch those power spikes. Orianna doesn't really deal meaningful damage just yet, and you can see Sauna trying to play defensively. He's building towards a static Shiv next up. That's what the double Brawler's Gloves mean, so at some point he'll have some wave clear to help Tyradus with this, but it's a very big waiting game for Trick here. Now, thankfully, they're up to tier 2 turrets right now. Yeah. Picks are a lot harder to get when you're kind of pulled up in your own base. And maybe life gets harder. Slow comes out, no stuns. Ooh, that's a flash, that binding.
Their turret. Sweaty B takes about half his HP there. They're going for Salna, he's going all in.
And the damage is there, and down he goes. Trades his life, but Sweaty B flashes it anyway. This could be a little bit too far. He will die to the turrets, a 2 for 2 overall. Lulu goes in, lands with CC. Kobe forced away, Cocoon lands. But overall, that's not the kind of fight you really want when you're 4EZ.
No, and that's a 2 for 2. But they still have their AD carry here, but no mid laners. Their wave clear is actually a lot less right now. No static Shiv or whatever Kobe's going to make that Zeal into just yet. And now Moarth, he's actually looking for a flank.
Soups Award sees there is one there. Team will be able to kill that Wonderwear. Wants to defend, but he really can't.
Ooh.
Kill it? Oh, they hit it in time.
He doesn't end up getting it.
But this is the interesting thing, right? I was saying it a second ago, that it's hard to get picks once you're up to tier 2 on your opponent.
Yeah.
If they're going to seed the Dragons, they're going to seed Blue Wolves, of course, you can get a gold lead there. But the way to close it out with no tanks, not easy. So if you flashed a turret as Morgana without without any armor items in his inventory, like, you can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, didn't go for it. Senkook actually gets everything off. The heal even comes out, but the ignite is enough. And then Sweaty B, he just wanted to get Nico down at that point. And the teleport from Mikey actually comes out a lot earlier than Wonder's, and Wonder actually still takes his teleport, which I was surprised about, because he could have canceled it and pushed up that tier 2 top. They weren't going to get anything out of that fight. If it had been full retreat, then it probably would have been a better play, and they could have come out with an advantage, despite
I agree.
2 members.
I really agree, and I actually am really glad you mentioned Wonderwear in the top lane there, because I think that is the sort of late game plan now for Forever Zenzig, is they've got this great team of 4 that can make all these picks, that can ruin people's day, control dragons, control buffs all the time, and Wonderwear's off on the side, like, no one can 1v1 me, I'll kill turrets if you defend anything. And that's how they kind of inch their way into the base and close this out, is you actually do the 4-1 split.
Yeah, and Wonderwear, like you said, he can basically split push against anybody at this point in the game. He's enough of a duelist with Rune and Arcane. He has the wave clear. It's instantaneously gone, and right now they have already grouped up for the dragon. There's no teleport, so we can't do that just yet. And this is the next objective in their sight. And right now it's basically, can they get the pick on it? Can Sweaty land a binding? Can Rolide go ahead and land himself a cocoon? Or is Trick not even going to contest it, give it up, and push the middle?
Well, they're going to look for the mid lane, certainly, but they've got to be
Have
aware of the
damage
rest of the
for
team.
it.
Yeah, look at that. Trick's like, oh, wait, they're coming? Okay, leave real quick. They can't stay for the turret. They can't hope to get positioning. They don't even look for the top lane there because mid lane could
It's
be
a big
under
wave,
fire.
though. So it's going to bait them into it.
Okay, so yeah. 4EZ, they realize they have no waves themselves. They go to defend this. They assume the push is coming. They're correct on this one. Tricked, if there was no defense, they would have gotten this turret, but now they've got to actually back up. Stun's going to land. Will they go in for this one? Not just yet.
Sweaty B has Moby Boots, though. He can close this distance if he continues to go through.
Flash Cocoon not quite going to land. Ro10 not going to make anything happen.
Good chompers, too.
Yes, of course. That was actually very, very good by Jinx. Jinx actually, interestingly enough, one of the more decent disengage AD carries because the large sort of radius on the chomper cast.
Yeah, I remember when she was first shown. I was like, wow, you can just section off a whole part of the jungle.
Yeah.
Nobody can chase you through there. The lane, even right there, would have created a lot of impassable terrain for them temporarily.
Sometimes the tank can eat one for you. You can walk on by, but
Or black shield yourself.
yeah, that's the best one. You just like eat all three and you're like, peace, bye. I'm not sure you actually can force all three to be eaten by a single player, but it really
think
make an
just
opening
one.
for your team. Yeah, I think you only get to chomp on one, but it's a gap. That's all that matters. Curious will get his own blue buff. So interestingly enough, Forever Zenzig, they haven't really rested jungle control. Despite the outer turret line being down, despite having 4 sweepers, buying a bunch of wards we keep pointing out, they're not really pushing their advantage that much.
Yeah, it's only 26 minutes in the game. It does feel later than that because of how slower the game pace was at the start, where they were kind of just trying to outplay each other in rotations. Then about 1 or 2 team fights. But all the Dragons have been going over to 4EZ, and they have about a 10k gold lead right now. And they're playing it slowly, even though it's still pretty early in the game. It's about that mid-game area. They have about 6 minutes until average winning game times, about 32-ish. But they've had an advantage all game. And now Wonderwear is going on 2-on-1. His team is very far from him, though.
It's a little aggressive. Gonna back out for that one, take some damage, but he can heal. He's Kale, so he's gonna be okay. Going towards what is Death Cap or Void Staff next, I believe.
They have a lot of wards to sweep out in this area. They're going to have to make great use of these pinks and the sweeper cooldowns for Forever Zenzig if they want to get this Baron, or if they at least want to bait it.
Let's see, there we go. Another ward dropped away. Ooh. And he can't keep sweeping too easily. It's going to be okay. There we go. Pick that one up again. So they are going for the Baron setup here as a team. That's going to be their next play. Not so much a split push, but the let's do things as a group of 5 because we're up 9,000 gold. I can respect that. Ward's still dying. Of course, they're fighting 2 sight stones, so you need to sweep a lot to get rid of all those things. Pink ward in the Baron pit helping as well. And slowly these guys are running out of sight stone wards.
That's kind of a battle that's very slow, very hard to fight because you have to constantly use your sweepers. And once again, they still don't have vision of this Baron pit for Tricked, but they had some vision of Forever Zenzig. And it's a pit comp, though. You can't face check a pit comp.
Well, they're about to. Nico's going in first. Lantern, nicely done. Spots him out. Nothing happens.
And Tyrius,
Nico,
he could just go ahead and get a 4-man shockwave. It's very possible that he can chunk a lot of them down.
True.
But it's still 10k gold lead, but they don't have tanks.
They don't, and that's the difficulty. Hard to
Oh,
start fights. The flash stun comes in. Senkuk's big
It's
damage
following.
comes out. He blocks it. Yes, he
Ignite.
does. But the ignite is too much. Senkuk grabs the kill. And now Nico gets slowed down with a flash from Wonderwear. Box comes out. Will it be enough? Looks like he can disengage. Stun does not quite land from Senkuk's, but they worked hard. They found the pick.
Yeah, it was just Senkux's damage there with a little bit of Sweaty B on the backside. Not even a binding from him, so it was major damage source. It was all that damage coming out from the Syndra. And now, here comes the Baron. Sweaty B, he's going to try to sweep this area out. And Kobe, he's doing it over the wall with the 650 range of Caitlyn.
Okay, Lee Sin's coming around, though. One more ward comes down.
Oh, they're going to kill him.
Big damage comes through. Lee Sin, 1 hit from dead. Gets over the wall, and he's going to just barely get... No, he won't!
Oh, he kills him!
The Dragons make it happen. They trade one back into Morgana, but this Dragon... Sorry, Baron's still going down. That's a kill picked up there. Actually, Caitlyn claiming it. Now the stun. Salna loses so much health. Almost gets full comboed out and gets a shield and gets away. But 1 for 1, and Baron picked up for 4EZ.
And the great positioning there from 4EZ. They have Kobe over the wall, so he can auto-attack anybody who comes in. And now we have Wonderwear teleporting to this bottom lane to just do damage to this turret and try to trade it out. He's going for the split push now.
Doing what he can. Blue buff going to be looked at, but nothing's there for this one. Orianna looks like she will be able to defend properly, so Tyrius keeps that alive. Cresting 30 minutes into the game right now. Dragon up in a minute. Forever Zenzig have, while slow, played the game very accurately.
Yeah, Senkux is actually just going for burst right now because he's maxed his W second as opposed to his E.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I know a large number of Syndras do max their E second just because like lower cooldown on getting guns is nice. That said, the W has more slow and lower cooldown. I know a couple of NA challenger players who will max W second because like it's like more things scale with points.
It's just better for damage as opposed to the team fight utility. So he's going for, because once you put 5 points into E, you're basically like, okay, I can get 2 of them off in a team fight. I can stun somebody, I can ultimate, run up to those balls, and then go ahead and stun everybody off of it. But instead he's going for the team fight damage. Right here, this is actually beautiful. The Dark Binding hits the golems when he uses his pool, and they aggro and punch him. Boom! Right in the butt.
Yep. Rock Punch, painful ability, takes him down. There we go. Dragon up picked up once again. Forever Zenzig. They're ready to be Zenzig for an hour, 2 hours, maybe a week.
Half an hour.
Only half an hour they need to be Zenzig in this game.
Yar.
Once you get into BO3s, it'll be longer.
Yes. We'll have to see what ends up happening there. It looks like right now 12k gold advantage getting these turrets for themselves. Now, once you said it already, those inhibitor turrets, it's much harder to get picks at tier 2s. Inhibitors, it's even harder. You have to push up, but right now they have so much of a lead that they could actually dive with the Kayle, but it would be much easier if they had a tank.
Yeah, really actually the big breakpoint in that is actually level 16 then.
Yeah.
Because you get an extra half second on the ultimate, so you can dive basically one more turret shot, because that'll be enough to hit that next attack from the turret. You know, I want to see Ohm Wrecker because of that.
Okay.
I think it's actually a good idea. When you have no tank, you're like, we need a way to close the game out, buy an Ohm Wrecker. You can now turret dive.
Okay.
I think it's legitimately a viable option. I'm just putting it out there. Feel free to flame me.
One day.
I believe in Ohm Wrecker.
We'll have to see. I believe in Ohm Wrecker too.
Good. And Banner of Command to split push.
Yes.
All the above.
Oh, yes. But at the same time, there's so many support items now, and they're all very expensive. Mikhail's being expensive now.
Yep.
And Sweaty B looks like
you don't have to buy it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop Mikhail's at Ohm Wrecker.
Sweaty B's going for the Zonias, though.
Okay.
That's going to be his support item of choice.
Great. The 120 AP support item.
Right?
For 3,100 gold.
But it's definitely the best support item on Support Morgana.
Oh, yes, it is.
You can go ahead and put yourself at risk. You can be the engage that your teammates, or I wouldn't call it the hard engage, I'd call it the ham engage.
It's the, we're going to really force this engage.
Yes.
And, you know, it'll work out okay. Sweaty B is shown to be very aggressive here, and he has a very damaging backline to support him. You've got Kayle, you've got Syndra, you've got Caitlyn. It's a whole bunch of pain available there. 14,000 gold lead is very significant for these guys.
Huh.
I think this push is coming in now.
So the Zonia is actually the item picked up here for Mikey.
If he gets Syndra, he can block a Syndra ulti with it.
But he hasn't been the main target here.
True.
He also went for the Morellos over the Athenes on Holy Grail.
I think that was because he was behind.
Yeah.
With 2 Dorans, it's actually enough to sustain yourself. Lulu's like laning phase isn't super mana intensive.
Yeah.
You don't have to like battle all the time. You can just wave clear. So I like that build. It's more AP. It's much cheaper.
I was just thinking of the magic.
Oh sure, no, absolutely. And he would otherwise be very weak to Syndra, but I do like the Zonia's pick in that case because he would be really squishy otherwise.
Trying to give it to the spiders. Backs up
a little bit there. There we go. Turret goes down. So 4EZ, as long as they just show up with a group of people, they have the ability to kill turrets down. Of course, Caitlyn, long range, fairly safe as well, is pretty easily able to push turrets down, and that is another fallback pattern here for 4EZ to close games out. If they can't find picks, they can just knock things down from range.
They have no idea where 4EZ is until they show themselves in the mid lane, and now, like a ghost, they're gone again. Where are they at?
They were mid.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing is, of course, there's no way these guys hold timers on much of anything. Dragon, I don't believe, was seen last time it went down. Baron, they're going to have the timer on, but in terms of losing their buffs, in terms of losing all kinds of stuff around the map, these guys just don't know. And so it's represents its playground. It's like, okay,
yeah,
if you need to wait 500 gold for Power Spike, you can do that. Say, guys, Less Whisper's coming soon. Give me a second. Let me clear a couple of camps. Okay, we'll push now.
They keep doing that, though.
Sure. No, I mean, you can't do that forever, right? You give your opponents time for Power Spikes as well, which is a very relevant thing to think about.
1,400 off from
a
Blade of
BF
Ruin
sword.
King. Just hold on.
Yeah.
And then one of your teammates, as soon as you complete it, is like, oh, wait, no, I got 300.
300 from GA, dude.
Oh, no, I got 300 for So you keep doing that over and over again. You kind of have to make the executive decision that this is actually the item we need.
Yeah.
We don't need that one for this fight. We're already so far ahead at 14, almost 15,000 gold advantage. They didn't really do a whole lot with their Baron. They got it, tried to siege, and then backed off.
Yeah.
They've denied vision control from Tricked, though, which might be their saving grace, because when this Baron comes up in a minute, Tricked is going to have to face check something.
Yeah, I've seen teams play Barons as, okay, we got Baron number 1, we're going to set up for Baron number 2. Like, the entire time, they're just, like, playing the ward game and, like, taking away all the jungle. Yeah. And then, like, okay, we'll end the game on Baron number 2. It's a very slow way to play it. And to be fair, there's not this big late-game saving grace from Trick. I think their champions are good late game. Like, it's not a bad comp, but it's not Kog'Maw Kayle.
Yes.
Right? Kale's on 4EZ's side, right? Syndra scales really, really well. Caitlyn actually scales incredibly well. Also, is actually, I would say, not actually that far from Jinx in terms of late game power. And so there's not a huge rush for these guys, but certainly I feel like there were ways to end the game if they wanted to.
Yeah. But right now they're just trying to rely on the pick comp and play that win condition instead of trying to force something. They don't have the Zhonya's completed just yet for Sweaty. Senkux actually went for the Zhonya's after he completed his Rod of Ages. So now he's ready to just dive in, be Ham again, and this time, click his invulnerability. This Baron looks like it's going to go over to them. They've set up for it, and they're going to get rewarded with that preparation and that timer, as well as the comp. But wonder where...
A little aggressive with the split push, kicked back into the team as well. He's not going to get any kills picked up. Salna forced a flash, actually. His shield comes out, though, and the kill goes over to the AD carry. That's going to be a 1-minute cooldown on Kayle being on the map.
Ooh.
It is Baron, but not the cleanest Baron now.
Yes. Wonder where sacrificed his life for that.
He didn't
pretty much wasn't needed either.
No.
Yeah, he was just causing a distraction. There's no way they could have contested it. In fact, it might have been better if he didn't cause a distraction, because then you cause them to face check. Or at least contest it if they want to.
Yeah, there's a chance that they misplay that. You're absolutely right.
The percentage of that would increase.
Sure. Yeah.
And now they get themselves a dragon. Really high up in gold right now. But they're really stalling this game out. They're really... Granted, they don't have a late game timer from the other team.
Yeah, sure.
We talked about that. They have the late game champions in their favor for the most part, or even across the board. But they just have this large advantage. The longer they stall it out, though, the stronger Tricked is going to get. And 4EZ, man, they just have so many items over their counterparts.
But here's the time for it.
Yeah.
So Kale's back. They've got Baron buff. They've just stolen the red and blue buffs recently. So this is as far ahead as they're going to get in this game.
Yeah.
Like, Baron number 3 is not going to be as important as Baron number 2 in this case, because people will catch up on items. You're seeing a 3-item AD carry now for Salna. This guy was held so far down early game and is now at the sort of point of relevancy for a mid to late game AD carry here.
Oh,
Salna's
Kobe's going to back.
Okay. Well, Wonder Where's, I think this might give him enough for Zhonya soon. He might be waiting for that break point as well. Again, what you were saying before, executive decision, is make the choice and go for it.
Oh, hold on, guys.
Agree.
Blade of the Ruined King completed.
Okay, that is a good item. Like, okay,
yes,
great.
Yes.
Like, Kobe does a bunch of damage, but there's not exactly a health tank. Like, yes, Ruined King helps, but it's not like this big power spike that matters a whole bunch.
But it's still taking them a long time to make these executive decisions of this is when we fight, this is when we go.
Yeah.
And not playing around their power spikes and their item spikes that they've already had. They've let a lot of them go, and they've had a large advantage from playing the objectives. Where their objective game is good, it's just the closing out of the game. It seems really rough for them right now.
Well, I've got a really good reason why.
Okay.
So, when they're not playing League of Legends, they have, their real names.
Okay.
When they're in-game, they're Forever Zenzig. How can you be Forever Zenzig unless you are in-game?
So they're ready
to their team name.
They're ready to Zenzig forever.
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 Oh my god.
Hopefully this game doesn't go on forever.
For those of you guys who have no idea what we're talking about, just look up Forever Zenzig. It's glorious. On YouTube. Just do it. It's great.
All right. So now they're finally sieging up this mid lane turret. They have their item advantages. They're playing around the Oriana ball. Sweaty B, he does have Zhonya's ultimate, or ultimate Zhonya's, available to him with his flash if he wants to force something. They have a lot of forces here with the 3 Zhonyas. Are they going to do it?
They're going to go in for the front side turret here. Stun comes off on a 2, and look at that. The turret's going to go down. No one's even trying to stop them, though. Tricked. Going to let these guys into their base. Tyranus now soloed. Down he goes. Soloed by Kayle. Absolutely. Another kill comes off into Jinx. This could be the game. 39 minutes in. More pressure coming through. Wonder where knocked. Oh! Most lives, and he goes down. Nope. There you go, finally drops off, but it's 4 kills coming through just for 1 death. This is going to be the game, 40 minutes, but heck, they were ahead the entire time. Forever Zenzig closing it out. They're going to make it into the quarterfinals. And it's going to be their true test now as they go into the BO3s. We're going to see these guys in 2 weeks, though, on a 2-game winning streak.
And once again, tricked. They end up not making it past the round of 10. But here we go. Senkux, he was involved in Spring Challenger Series, made it to 4th with Reason Gaming.
Yeah.
Kobe came in with Denial last season, didn't make it very far either. Now these guys have another chance to try and make it up there. Granted, 2 of them are very young.
Yep.
But there's a lot of talent there that's ready to just keep being fostered and nurtured.
And they're going to want to make it to top 4. They're going to want to win that quarterfinal match to make it to playoffs. So you pretty much have to make top 4 in one or both of the series if you want to make yourselves into the playoff tournaments, make that LCS promotion tournament spot as well. So overall, though, the game, clean, I would say. I didn't see anything, well, aside from a couple of silly plays by Wonderware, I would say a clean game, mostly very good choices. I think they again, missed out on some chances to win the game, but overall, I think these guys played solid. Yeah,
they played really solidly there all across the board. Senkux stayed at about the 10 CS per minute mark, and they just stalled it out. He was actually at 5.5 items. He's very close to his 6th item there, sitting on a needlessly large rod, which would have been a DFG eventually. But the way that they played was very slow, very methodical, and if they end up playing a team in the future that's very quick, very aggressive, and gets an early game lead, and tries to do something against them, we're going to have to see how that ends up, because they're very objective controlled. They're very pick-based off of the objectives. So they pick you, then they get an objective. That was the team comp they played today. That's the style they played today. They didn't play something that fights you in a 5v5 until they're super far ahead.
Yeah.
That's the only 5v5 we saw was that one at the very end. That was it.
Yeah, and I mean, it was at least them realizing they had the item lead to just like go into the front door and say, we're going to hit this turret down and knock it over. And so that did work out, of course. And certainly you can see, for both these teams, to be completely fair, to talk about Tricked for a second, both these teams individually very skilled. You saw Tricked hold up in lanes. I thought they made slightly better choices in the first 4 levels of the game. Within them defending the bottom lane turret, getting some extra farm there, getting the recall and the AD carry, bullying that out a little bit. I thought that worked successfully. Also, they were smart to lane swap a Jinx against a Caitlyn, because that's like, generally speaking, a really bad matchup. We talked about that one. They made the right choice there as well. So certainly there's glimmers here for Tricked. Of course, we won't see them now till spring next year if they want to try again. But you see glimmers for this team. They're going to need some shot calling help. I think they really got into a lot of bad fights in a row that 4EZ capitalized on. And that was good of course, of the blue team to do that. But
yeah.
Definitely some weaknesses.
And speaking of shot calling, this is a pretty new team here for Forever Zenzig.
Yeah.
And I've actually talked to them, and they all kind of put in their feedback, but Senkux makes the executive decision because he has the most experience. I mean, you would give the executive decision to the guy who made it to 4th in the Challenger Series previously.
Exactly.
But right now, it's pretty much his calls have just been wait for a pick, wait for them to misplay, and then we capitalize off of that.
Yeah.
So if you fight a team that's a little more or a little less full of mistakes, a little less full of mispositionings every now and then, you have a lot more problems. You have to concise your shot calling. You have to make it more decisive too.
Absolutely.
You have to make it very much like, we're going now, this is what we're doing, this is our goal, and just get all of your objectives on the table in terms of your game plan. Because their game plan seemed to be, pick them off, get an objective. Then when there were only inhibitor turrets left, it was kind of like, okay, Baron's our objective, let's just go get that a couple times, make it a 20k gold lead, then end the game. Yeah. Granted, it does work. It does work.
Sure. If no one can make plays on you, it works.
Exactly. Like, they couldn't force anything here. There was never a good team fight ultimate from Tyradus. Hit about 1 person every shockwave. I never saw a multi-person shockwave.
They played well around that.
Exactly. They played really well around that. And, 4EZ is a very good team. They're a very good team, and we saw it here today, how well they won. But at the same time, it's only going to get harder. Your competition's only going to get harder from here.
True.
So when you reach that round of 8, you might be facing one of the teams that made it to top 3 last time.
Yeah, when you're facing H2K,
can you do something like this?
Is that going to work again?
Or if you face NIP, is Ko going to be super aggressive on you in the early game?
Yeah.
Is Alex going to crush your top lane? What's going to happen in those games?
Sure. All important things to think about. We're going to see what happens, of course, in a couple of weeks when you see this team again, but we've got more going on today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for Game 2 in our Elimination Showdown when the #1 team in Nordic East, Invaders, takes on Broken Shard's new team, SK Gaming Prime. That's coming up right after this.
They're going to go after Tyradus now.
And he's going to lose a whole bunch of health as well. That's the kill. Sweaty B up in the middle of everything. Going to get a two-man stun.
They're going for Salna. He's going all in.
And the damage is there, and down he goes. Trades his life, but Sweaty B flashes in anyway. This could be a little bit too far. He will die to the turrets. A 2 for 2 overall. Let these guys into their base. Tyradus now so low. Down he goes. Soloed by Kale. Absolutely. Another kill comes off into Jinx. This could be the game. 39 minutes in. More pressure coming through. Wonderware knocked. Oh! Most lives, and he goes down. Nope. There we go. Finally drops off.